Hello, and thank you for stopping by my channel this morning for just a few moments to brighten our days by looking at things that bring us joy and happiness in the world. I'm Father Steve Summers, and I was thinking today about the one instrument, the one machine that revolutionized my life more than any other. Do you remember encountering a machine or an instrument or even a person who revolutionized your life? Everything changed after that? Well, I remember I was a little boy at the time, and we were living on the east side of Fort Worth. And for Christmas one year, when I was about 4 or 5 years old, maybe 6 years old, my parents gave me this machine as a Christmas present. Not exactly this one, but one just like it. This revolutionized my life. Now, if you're of a certain age as I am, you know what this is. And no, it's not a cell phone, but it revolutionized my life even more than the cell phone did when they started coming out in the early 1990s. This one came out in the mid-1950s. It's called a transistor radio. Uh, I didn't know when I got this that you could pull up this part of this machine, and then you could hit the on button like this, and suddenly you would be in contact with the larger world. I had no idea how this machine worked. I understood a little bit about how the telephone worked in our house in the late 1950s. I knew that the phone was plugged into the wall by a wire, and that the wire went through the house and connected to poles out in the yard, and the poles had wires going in all directions, and I knew that those wires connected with other people in other towns. I didn't really understand how it worked, but this was different. I didn't see any wires coming out of this little transistor radio. I didn't know how I could turn this on, and if I'd go to one end of the dial late at night, I could hear sounds like this. Or if I could go to another end of the dial, sometimes late at night, I'd hear different types of music. It would be I didn't know how the sounds got from other towns, other states, to this machine. I didn't understand how that worked. Now, eventually I encountered a sound that drove me to the second machine that revolutionized my life, the guitar. Now, by 1960, I'd already been playing the piano. My mother started me when I was 4, so I'd been playing the piano for a good 4 years by 1960. When I started hearing a sound on that machine of a guitar that sounded like this. That was my first encounter with a guitarist by the name of Chet Atkins. So when I got my first guitar in 1962, I immediately wanted to learn to play like Chet Atkins. He made the guitar sound like a piano, and of course he used finger picks, and so I started very early doing that. So this machine, which revolutionized my life, led me to this machine, which I'm still letting revolutionize my life today. But I realized with this that someone had to explain to me how it worked. And I think it was my mother or my father who said that the sounds that started at a baseball stadium in St. Louis, where the St. Louis Cardinals were playing at night, traveled over the air invisibly and came to the top of this little antenna, and the sounds would mysteriously appear in my little transistor radio. And I kept looking through, seeing where are those radio waves? I don't see them. I tried to grab them. I couldn't. I wanted to understand, but I really couldn't. Until someone explained to me that you can't see the radio waves. They travel through the air in all directions. They're broadcast from a radio station in St. Louis, or from a radio station in New Orleans, or from a wonderful station in Dallas that I learned as KDKA late at night to get really good blues music late at night. But mostly I would hold it up to my ear at night and listen for baseball games. And then I realized, again through my parents or maybe a Sunday school teacher, that prayer works that way too. Prayer travels through the air. We can't see it, and it permeates the air around us. And prayer travels much faster than the 1,100 feet per second that sound waves travel, even faster even than the speed of light. And when we realize that God's with us, our prayers don't have to travel very far to get to Him. First of all, He's right inside our thoughts, and so we can connect to God's channel much faster than we could with this channels on this, faster than the fastest Wi-Fi speed on earth. God is with us. He's with you. He's in your thoughts. Go into your thoughts and talk to Him. Let God tell you how much He loves you, and especially on this Valentine's Day in the year 2020. Let us give thanks and rejoice for the many instruments and machines that God has helped us get to revolutionize our lives, and especially for the ability to pray to Him at all times and all places. God bless you. You have a wonderful day today.